Good evening everyone, welcome to our live coverage here on the Trackstars Racing Series YouTube channel. We're live here from Croatia for round one of the Trackstars Touring Car Series for 2023. Obviously a new beginning for all the 7 teams and the 14 drivers on the grid tonight. All starting from scratch with the points. And an opportunity here to get off to the best start possible and take an early lead in the championship. At the moment we've got drivers just going through their paces, doing some last minute practice before we get into the qualifying session, which will be 10 minutes. And then that'll be followed up by a 29 lap race for race number 1. And then of course we'll have a second 29 lap race for race number 2. So all up a pair of 150 kilometre races, an extra 25 kilometres compared to last year. So it could add an extra challenge. Of course a few changes to the cars since the last time we saw them at Suzuka in December last year. As we just see Ando fall victim to the chicane of death. Certainly we'll take a look at these cars drive around as we follow along with Ryan Palmer now. So probably one of the most noticeable changes of course is the smaller width on the rear wing. A lot of feedback was that the larger rear wing was providing a lot of dirty air, so the size of the rear wing has been reduced in hopes of producing better racing. And of course the other change has been that there's a slight reduction in weight. As both the Honda and Lexus are now down to 1,020 kilograms. And the power has been slashed as well from the 838 we were used to last season, and it's now down to 614 horsepower. So all drivers out there got less power, less weight, should be better handling cars for everyone to drive, and it should be easier to follow behind as well. So far looking at the timesheets, it's a new signing for the It's Racing Esports team in Hamza, who has gone to the top at the moment with 126.6. Then we have Palmer about 4 tenths behind. Although as I say that, Hamza has gone down to a 26.3, so now it's 7/10 gap between Hamza and Palmer. So we just see the pair of WTC racing cars of Bonduve and Scott both in the wall at the death chicane. So we have a few new driver lineups compared to last year in the touring cars. Ward, who was racing in F2 earlier this season, he makes a step up into main series competition with the touring cars, and he'll take one of the RoboSport racing cars. Of course this will be RoboSport Racing's final season in the championship, as it has been announced that there will be a restructuring taking place, resulting in new management at the team and resulting in a new team name, which will be known as RN Racing for next season. So Ward will be joined alongside Harcourt here, who's coming across the line to complete a lap. Not sure. We've got number 12 CP Motorsports entry of Campbell. So Campbell and O'Shea in the CP Motorsports entries, and they have switched from the Hondas that they were campaigning last year over to Nissan. Of course, Honda choosing to leave the Trackstars Touring Car Series, so it is now a two-make battle between Nissan and Lexus for this season, as it looks like we're about to go into qualifying, and that might give us an opportunity to run through the field a bit closer. Do a quick run through the field here. So leading the way out on the track at the moment, Palmer in the number 96 car. He was in number 95 last season. That's the It's Racing Esports Nissan. And then Scott in the 787 WTC Racing Lexus. Have Ward in the number 20 RSR Nissan. Von Duve number 117 Lexus for WTC Racing. Campbell, as we saw earlier, in the number 12 CP Motorsports Nissan. Hamza in the number 95 It's Racing Esports entry. And then we've got Lansdale making the jump from TS2 and F2 into the main series for his debut full-time season in the number 5 Mash Spuds Racing Lexus. And then of course O'Shea, he was in contention for the championship at the later stages last year. The number 50 CP Motorsports Nissan, he'll probably assume the team leader role at the squad in the absence of Woods. And we have Walker in the number 964 Nissan representing WRT Motorsports. Calypso in the 666 ISA Esports Lexus. And it's Oldman in the 151 WRT Motorsport Nissan. And then with the reserve driver making their debut here in the Trackstars Touring Car Series, that's Lashbrook. You will normally see him in TS2 competition, but he makes his debut tonight, filling in for Gabans, or Costa Rock as we know him now, in the number 215 ISA Esports Lexus. And then Patasso, the 2020 Touring Car Series champion, jumping in the number 45 MSR Lexus, of course the team that he owns and operates. And then a bit further behind, creating some space for himself, that's Harcourt in the number 22 RoboSport Racing entry. And we just jump back at the right moment to see Palmer put the car in the wall on the exit of the chicane of death. That's probably going to see him come to pit lane. Scott will come around. He'll be the first car to complete a flying lap. He crosses the line, 127.4. Ward 127.3. Let's see what Hamza has. He has a 126.4 to go to the top. Lansdale comes across the line 28.6. Campbell a 28.3. Walker up to 5th with a 28 flat. O'Shea is a bit of a slower time. Calypso comes across the line with a 30.4. Oldman into the pits along with Lashbrook. Got Patasso coming on the main straight now to complete his first lap. What time will he produce? He goes up the third with a 27.4. And then we have got Harcourt. So he'll be the light, well, the last car that was supposed to complete his first lap, but he'll be far from the last car to actually log a lap time. So let's see what he comes up with as he comes across the line. 29.6, so down in 9th place. Incident there for Hamza as he goes through the chicane of death. Pushing the limits there, and it looks like Ward also caught up in that too. Let's see who else we've got coming across the line. O'Shea just went across the line and gone to 9th. No improvement there from Calypso. Lashbrook heading around the final corner now. Will we see an improvement from him? No improvement there. We'll follow along with Scott at the moment, sitting in 5th place. 0.15 down through the 2nd sector. On the run to what's probably considered the final major corner. Gets hard on the brakes, slows it down, gets a brilliant exit out of the corner. Now shifting through the gears on the run to the line with 27.3, so up into 2nd place for Scott. Let's see what lap time O'Shea can produce. Palmer up into 2nd place. O'Shea with a 27.8 up into 8th place. So Palmer we missed there with 26.6. So just 2 tenths between Palmer and Hamza, the two It's Racing Esports teammates. Patasso up into 3rd place there as well. So 3 minutes left in the session. Enough time for Hamza to go out and do another lap. Let's see who we can follow along with. Ward making some slight improvements here. Looking for a good final sector, but makes contact with the wall on the exit of the chicane. That's going to prove costly for his lap. He dives into pit lane. Will have to be fast work from the pit crew there to try and get this car turned around and get another lap in for Ward. Palmer jumping back into the pits. Hamza, let's see who we've got. O'Shea up in the 7th. See if Lashbrook can make any improvement here. Almost a tenth quicker inside the top 10. Oldman comes across the line. No improvement there. Get a quick look at Campbell coming through, where he gets out of control out of that hairpin. 0.008 down on his personal best. Harcourt with an improvement there. I don't think he's jumped inside the top 10 though. Let's follow along with Hamza here. Looks to be one final flying lap. Looks to be held up a bit there by Oldman, so not sure if that's going to be an improvement there. He's still up. So he's on course to improve on his lap time and really secure pole position for the It's Racing Esports entry. And just as I say that, put the commentator's curse on him. Will Pitasso have any improvement? Looks like it'll be the last lap for him. As he heads around the final corner, gets out of control. All out sideways on the exit of the corner. That's going to prove costly. And he's definitely abandoned that lap time. Scott looks to have also abandoned his lap. Ward looks to be on one final flyer. Just up by 1/1000th of a second. As he heads through the chicane of death for the last time. Manages to safely negotiate that. Now it's a deep braking into the final corner. Gets the car slowed down nicely. Sets himself up for a great exit. Can he jump himself up above 5th position? Yes, he does. 4/10 faster through that final sector, and he's up into 3rd place. We got Von Duve on his final lap. Doesn't look like he's made a huge improvement, although let's see what he does. He's up to 5th. He has made an improvement. Looked a bit slow there going down the main straight, but he managed to come across the line and improve his time and out-qualify probably his more fancied teammate in some circles. But definitely a brilliant performance there from Von Duve to put himself on the 3rd row of the grid. Lashbrook on debut, also up into 8th place, so great effort there from him as he splits the 2 CP Motorsports entries of O'Shea and Campbell. So a quick run through of the grid. Hamza takes pole position for the first race of the season, and it's an It's Racing Esports front row lockout with Palmer joining him on the front row. 3rd place will be Ward in the number 20 Nissan. And then it's Pitasso in 4th place, joining him on the 2nd row. 5th and 6th, it's the WTC Racing entries of Von Duve and Scott. Row number 4 will be O'Shea in 7th and Lashbrook in 8th. And then rounding out the top 10 will be Campbell in 9th. Lansdell in 10th. Then we have Walker in 11th, Harcourt in 12th, Oldman in 13th, and then Calypso 14th position. And then a fun little note, our defending champion from last year's Trackstar's Touring Car Series is coincidentally driving the safety car tonight. So you probably would have expected him to be returning to defend the crown, but instead finds himself piloting the safety car instead. So I'll quickly bring up the results screen there for you. Of course, a bit of confirmation of the grid that I've just run through a few moments ago, with Hamza on pole, Palmer on 2nd, Ward 3rd, Pitasso 4th, Von Duve 5th, Scott 6th, O'Shea 7th, Lashbrook 8th. And then heading over to the next page, we've got Campbell, Lansdale, Walker, Harcourt, Oldman, and then Calypso rounding out the field. And as we get the word from both Pitasso and Palmer, the race will be getting underway in just a few moments. So back again at Dragon Trail for the season opening race of the Trackstars Touring Car Series. Field of 14 cars all set, the lights coming on, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, set to go racing, and it's lights out, and we're off and racing here at Dragon Trail Raceway. Looks like a good start there from Hamza as they go 3 wide on the run to turn 1. Palmer just edging out the 2 cars alongside of him. But it looks to be Pitasso as well joining him. Hamza still coming across and getting through into the lead, holding on to that lead as is catastrophically behind him. There's a car that's gone around. I believe that is Von Duve. So we'll get a quick replay of that one. And he just gets off into the curb, loses control there, and finds himself facing the wrong way after contact with the wall. Back down at the front, Hamza's still leading the way. Pitasso managed to separate the 2 It's Racing Esports entries. So Pitasso and Palmer. Palmer looked to get into the wall there, and he's taken damage early on. O'Shea making a move down the inside of Lashbrook as Palmer dives off into the pits. Actually, it wasn't a move from O'Shea on Lashbrook, it was just him being a bit defensive there. So Palmer already into the pits. O'Shea are now up into 3rd place, defending furiously from Lashbrook, who is all over the back of him looking for a way into position 3 early on in this race. So end of lap 1, Hamza from Pitasso. Then it's O'Shea in 3rd, with a train of cars look to be forming behind him, with the likes of Lashbrook, Lansdale, Walker, Scott and Cambo all just behind him. Lashbrook getting all out of shape there through the chicane of death. Manages to keep it off the walls though. Lansdale and Campbell, what was happening there to Ando? So Ando's into the pits, also known as Scott's. Likewise for Nightwalker. So that both of those cars have picked up damage early on. That quickly puts Palmer into the top 10. Harcourt don't think is pitted yet and is still somehow only just ahead of Palmer, who has pitted. Although he has got a lot of damage on his car early on. That could explain why he's so far off the pace. As he just gets out of shape there again on the exit. We'll go to a quick replay of that one. Catches a bit of curb on the exit. That's all Palmer needs to go through into 9th. And so Campbell's in the wall there at the chicane of death. We'll grab a quick replay of that one. I think we just missed out on that one. Oh, very close call there from Calypso and Oldman. So Palmer quickly on the charge up the order. Already up into 8th place. Closing in on both Oldman and Calypso. Gap is only 3 seconds between them. And Calypso only just fractionally in front. Looks like O'Shea's built a little bit of a gap over Lashbrook. Still not completely comfortable with the gap, but a bit more breathing space than what it was a few moments ago. So gap between those guys still holding steady. Let's have a bit of a look here, as it looks like Palmer's closed into the back of Oldman and Calypso. He's got to run down the pit straight here. As he gets alongside and gets enough of an overlap completed. He can just take the normal line into turn 1. So Palmer back up the 7th, and he'll be looking to make quick work of Calypso here to jump into 6th place. We had a bit of a look there, probably wasn't comfortable enough. And now Calypso just running wide on the exit of the S's. And that was the invitation Palmer needed to get through. Just go to a quick replay of that one. So Palmer now up into 6th spot. Now be hunting down that top 5 position. So 5 laps complete. Hams are still leading the way here. Fastest lap time so far of a 1:26.7. Roughly a 3.6 second gap over Pitasso. Pitasso, of course, was supposed to be having a stint on the sidelines after he vacated his spot in order for Lansdell to make the jump up into the main series of Trackstar's touring cars. As we just see there that the gap between Hamza and Pitasso now at around 4 seconds. Of course, with Trapper, our former Trackstars champion, not racing tonight, has opened the door for Pitasso to jump into this car. And he's certainly doing an excellent job here. sitting in second place early on in proceedings. Lashbrook with a very impressive performance early on in the ISA Esports entry. There's been a late call up into this car for tonight. Had a pair of second place finishes in the TS2 race, so certainly a front runner in that championship and certainly proving himself in the main series early on in this race. Just trying to look through the order here, see if we've got any battles. It looks like it has spread out reasonably well so far. Say probably the two closest cars are that of Lansdell and Lashbrook. Might just follow along with Lashbrook for a lap or so, just to sort of get a different view of Dragon Trail Seaside circuit as he tries to chase down Lashbrook. Oh, looks like damage there for Lashbrook. We'll go to a replay of this one. Looking like it might have been contact through the depth chicane. Yes, straight into the wall on the exit. Front end damage for Lashbrook, and now he's off into the pits. Palmer also into the pits, because he had an issue as well. Yes, he's caught the inside of the barrier on the third part of that chicane, and into the wall he goes as well. So Palmer certainly not having an ideal time in race number one. What was looking like a challenge for a podium spot even after that opening pit stop has now started to go awry for him. As he now trails the back of Von Duve, who's sitting in 8th place. So Palmer looking at the back of Von Duve for 7th. Sorry, for 8th I should say. Because 7th is Ward at the moment, who's on the back of Walker, looking for 6th place. Certainly a very eventful start to the season. An eventful start to race 1 as we now look to be about a third of the way through this first 29 lap encounter. There's Ward all over the back of Walker as we head through the S's. Ward makes a move down the inside into the hairpin. Walker just lets off the brakes, runs it a bit wide, still side by side, but I think Ward's going to have the advantage here. And he does sweep through and take over 6th place. So very well executed there from Ward. Very authoritative dive down the inside into that hairpin. So we see Von Duvet and Palmer just a little bit further behind. Probably the next set of drivers that Walker will have to keep an eye on. Palmer, of course, has set the fastest lap. I did miss that earlier on. So gap for Hamza and Patasso staying around 4 seconds. That probably explains why. There's a bit of damage there for Hamza. So he's gotten into the wall somewhere. We'll certainly miss that one on screen. Now the early gap that he's built has quickly gone away. Although he's still sitting around 4 seconds, so strong performance from him so far has built up a bit of a cushion that he can fall back on early on. So we look a bit further down the field. So Scott surprisingly running at the tail of the field. He hasn't had a great time in this opening race. Looks to be on a bit of a comeback drive at the moment. Trying to claw his way up the order. We have Harcourt in 13th. So both of those cars are actually more than a lap down. And then we have Oldman and Calypso still continuing their battle from earlier on in the race. So Patasso into the pits. He's taken damage as well. See if we can get a shot. Nope, we won't be able to get anything from that. So Patasso out of the pits. So he comes out in 4th place. Probably just goes to show what an eventful race it has been so far. The likes of Patasso can make a mistake, have a pit stop and come out in 4th place. So Hamza now a 7.6 second lead. He seems to be very comfortable with the damage he's got at the moment. Seems more than happy to carry on his way. O'Shea running in second place at the moment. Lansdale now making a pit stop here. That'll bring Pitasso back up into third. So it looks like Lansdale just satisfying the requirements of the compulsory pit stop. Comes out in fifth place, just behind Lashbrook, and under a lot of pressure here from Ward on the exit. There's Ward climbing all over the back of Lansdale out of turn 4. Oh, a bit of contact there. That pushes Lansdale wide. Fortunate enough there. Looks like Ward has done the right thing, recognised the contact and just sat back a bit. Allowed Lansdale to carry on with that position and potentially not attract a penalty there. So just want to have a bit of a look at the exit from Walker that I caught in the background. As he just got on the curb on the exit, manages to hold control of it, so good effort there from Walker to hang on to things. Hamza now completing his pit stop. Finally decided to clear that damage, comes out in second place. 11 seconds back, and Pitasso's in the pits with damage. Let's see if we can catch the end of it. Looks like we're just a bit too late. Probably needs to keep one eye on the track map at the moment. More specifically onto the chicane of death. See if anyone gets caught up there. Because I think Calypso just fell victim to the chicane there as well. So heavy contact into the barriers there for him. So O'Shea now leading the way in the CP Motorsports number 50 entry. And we've got Hamza in second. And it's Lashbrook sitting in third. Ward in fourth. He's obviously got the job done there on Lansdale, who's now sitting in fifth. Walker in sixth place. And it's Pitasso who gets all out of shape on the exit of the chicane. Very fortunate there was no damage there for the MSR driver. And then we've got Campbell, Palmer, Von Duve. Palmer, I believe he's had a third incident here. Certainly after that front row start, things have certainly gone backwards very quickly for him. As we are now well and truly past the halfway stage of this race. So Palmer, yeah, definitely dropping down the order. I think he's had a third pit stop there. just keep an eye on that gap between Lansdale and Walker. Things look to have settled a bit. Does look like Lansdale is starting to build that gap out a bit. So you see Hardcourt there getting out the way as he goes a lap down. O'Shea now in pit lane for his pit stop. So he comes out in second place, allows Hamza to retake the lead. Lashbrook with damage now in the pits, handing over third place to Ward, and now Lansdale up into fourth as well. So 17 laps complete. Let's have a look here. So we've got Campbell, Palmer, Lashbrook. 3 cars all together on the track. Palmer looking to be able to make a move up into 6th place. Campbell just running wide on the exit there. Palmer getting the run and the inside line into the start of the chicane and makes that move into 6th place. So Palmer, even though he's about 3 pit stops deep into a race where you only need 1, still managing to get himself up into 6th place. Pitasso in the pits again with more damage. As I think the chicane of death has claimed more victims in this race than turn 8 at the Adelaide Street Circuit has caused in about 20 years. So Pitasso back out onto the track, sitting in 9th place. Hamza out to a 13-second lead. He'll come across the line now, and it'll be 10 laps left in the race. As we see, looks like Oldman coming out of the pits. And swiftly being put a lap down by the number 95. The gap between Hamza and O'Shea now out to 14 seconds. Ward currently sitting in 3rd. Looks like that gap is sort of staying steady. Might have to follow along for a little bit just to get a bit of a gauge to see whether it's going in Ward's favour or Lansdale's favour. Definitely seems like the gap's growing between the two. Although as I say that, the gap goes down a little bit again. I think Ward just being a little bit conservative through that chicane there. Maybe knows he's on for a good result, doesn't want to throw that away. But the gap definitely seemed, over the course of the lap, seems to be moving 2/10 one way, 2/10 the other way. Palmer seems to be on a bit of a mission there. He's got that gap down to around 10 seconds at the moment. But it is, of course, Hamza who has the fastest lap of a 1:26.042. He's just gone probably 100 faster that time around. Very much lighting up the lap charts with purple sectors. I think the carrot of the 1:25 lap time has certainly been dangled in front of him. Of course, you want to be cautious, as we just say that, and Palmer in the pits again. More contact with the wall, so really not going well for him. Down into 9th now. So Campbell and Lashbrook look to be in a little bit of a battle here for 5th place. So of course Campbell, American driver, representing CP Motorsports in this Trackstars Touring Car Series campaign. Also recently completed his first season with the Formula Trackstars as well. Unfortunately had to miss the first round due to being ineligible at the time. But he was promptly able to earn his eligibility with a top 5 finish in Brazil, and immediately jumped into the drive for that second CP Motorsports car for the remainder of the season. Lashbrook just shadowing him at the moment. I think there's only really been, I believe, only 1 or 2 mistakes there from Lashbrooks in this race. Probably won't be aiming to beat him on raw pace, possibly. But if the opportunity presents itself, I'm sure he'll take it. But I feel like Lashbrook might be just content to sit back, just hit his marks and maybe wait for a mistake. He seems to be keeping it mistake-free himself, and it's certainly paying dividends. Likewise for Lansdell, sitting in 4th place. Certainly hasn't been the fastest driver in this race, but has kept it off the walls a lot more than everyone else and reaped the rewards as a result. Just see a bit of a battle for 7th, 8th and 9th between Patasso, Walker and Palmer. Walker, a little bit of a defensive move there, sort of knew the limits of what he could do. Palmer now fires down the inside into the hairpin. Gets himself well and truly up the inside and claims that position, so he's back up into 8th place. As he continues his game of snakes and ladders up the leaderboard and back down and then back up again. So now well and truly set on Patasso in 7th place. Gap now down to 7/10 of a second. Just quickly right on board with Palmer. See Patasso just getting a little bit squirrely there out of the exit of the hairpin. Something that Palmer would be keenly looking at, hoping to exploit. He doesn't get too deep into the wall again himself. Both drivers very much on the limit here. As they attempt to salvage some kind of result late in this race. Apologies everyone, just had to quickly deal with a dog wanting to go outside for a moment. As we jump back into action, 3 laps to go. Patasso sitting in 7th place, holding off Palmer. Both drivers running in the top 3 early on in the race. And now trying to look to salvage as many points as possible for either themselves or their teams. So 1 through the S's. Palmer looking to get a bit of a better run, but certainly not close enough yet to do anything about it. Closes up the gap again through the hairpin. Pitasso just running into the wall on the exit there. That slowed his run through the chicane of death. And he certainly had to take a few risks there, right up against the wall on the exit. Palmer definitely not relenting here. As Pitasso losing traction on the exit, trying to get the power down as quickly as he can. And giving up time for Palmer. Palmer now closing into the back of Pitasso. Not close enough there to make a move. Looks like he's going to have to sit back and wait just a little bit. Hopefully he doesn't wait too long or take it too cautious here, as he might lose a bit of time. As Pitasso again out of control, losing traction on the exit of the corner. Allows Palmer to close in. Palmer hassling the back of Pitasso through the S's. Getting a good run out of the S's here and down the hill towards the hairpin. Pitasso on the defensive. Palmer to the outside. Palmer looking to take the outside into this hairpin. Doesn't quite get the job done. Pitasso holding on to 7th place here as we enter the chicane of death. Who's going to blink? Pitasso, another committed run there through the chicane. And builds enough of a gap to hold on to this position for another lap, as we are now on to the last lap for the leaders. As our driver out in front probably has been ignored largely during the race, except for brief periods where he had some damage. He does have some front end damage as we speak now, but he's managed the risk versus reward. Decided to stay out and manage it. He rounds the final corner now of this race. And Ridwan Hamza, he's going to come across the line and score the win for the number 95 Ritz Racing Esports in race 1 of the Trackstars Touring Car Series. As we see Harcourt crossing the line there. I believe that was 13th position. O'Shea rounds the final corner now. He'll come across the line in 2nd place. So the 2 debutants in the Nissans taking a 1-2 finish. Ward in his first Trackstars Touring Car Series race. He'll come across the line and round out the podium. As you see, Oldman in 11th. Scott in 14th position. Lansdale, a brilliant drive there. Kept out of trouble, and he'll pick up a 4th place finish. As we see Campbell coming across the line for 5th place. Good result there for the CP Motorsports team. And Lashbrook on his debut picks up 6th place. Pitasso crosses the line in 7th. Looks like something has happened there to Palmer on the final lap. And he'll come across the line in 8th. Walker in 9th. Von Duve rounding out the top 10, although we didn't see him come across the line. And that'll be Oldman, Calypso in 12th, Harcourt in 13th, and then Scott in 14th. And then, of course, our defending series champion, the safety car, having a quiet time in the pits. So first win of the season going the way of Hamza and the It's Racing Esports squad. So we'll have a quick recap of the results here. And it's Hamza taking the win there. Eventually a 21-second margin over O'Shea in second place. Ward coming across the line 30 seconds back. And then we have Lansdale in fourth. Campbell rounding out the top five. Then it's Lashbrook, Patasso and Palmer finish on off our first page. Then we have Walker in ninth. Fonduve in 10th. First of the cars running a lap down. And then outside the top 10, it's Oldman in 11th, Calypso 12th. Harcourt in 13th, and then Scott rounding out the field in 14th. Not the race he would have liked for the WTC Racing Lexus. So we'll take a short break here. We'll be back in a moment with the second race of the night here with the Trackstars Touring Car Series Round 1 at Dragon Trail Seaside for the Dragon Trail 300. Alright, welcome back everyone, as we're about to get underway for race number 2. 29 laps of distance. This time it's Hamza again off pole, but this time around he's joined by O'Shea on the front row for CP Motorsports as we get to 5 lights. And we're lights out again for race number 2. Hamza looks to bog down a little bit and they go 4 wide on the run to turn 1. Lansdale, Ward, O'Shea, all 4 wide through turn 1. Contact between them. As all of those cars weren't going to fit. Lashbrook down the inside into second. Hamza getting through very nicely there. Looked to be a bit of a chaotic turn 1. And that's really shaken up the order. As we've got Hamza leading from Lashbrook, Ward, Campbell. As they're looking to try and go 3 wide into the S's here. Contact between Ward and Campbell. Campbell spinning into the fence. And Campbell now dropping down to the tail of the field. Palmer's dropped down to 10th at the start. Maybe a bit cautious here. It's O'Shea going down the inside, bit of contact between him and Scott. Looks like it's giving him a bit of a poor run. As Lansdale just threading the needle there, trying to get through into the chicane of death. Von Duvet making a bit of contact with the wall. That allows Palmer up into 9th. He's got a run there on O'Shea. Makes a move down the inside. Does he get it done on the exit? As we've got a spin there from Scott. As he heads around the final corner, looks like he's lit up the rears on the exit. And into the fence he goes, and he's going to be jumping into the pits for an early stop. So lap 1 complete. Hamza already out to a 4-second lead over Lashbrook, and then it's Walker in 3rd. Oh, I think that was Palmer and Patasso getting a bit out of control there. We'll have to go to a bit of a replay of that one once things settle down a bit. Palmer now up in the 6th place, ahead of O'Shea, ahead of Patasso. I believe that's Von Duvet just behind. We'll get a quick replay of this one. So Patasso running wide into that, what I'll call the top hairpin, gets all out of traction on the exit. And that just allows Palmer through and O'Shea as well. Let's see who has managed to get through the chicane. Patasso, he's got engine damage, so that'll be a safety car. Let's see what's happened here to Patasso. We just caught the end of it. Looks like he's ended up in the wall here. So Patasso now limping into the pits. I was going to say that should be a safety car, but don't see any forthcoming. So 2 laps in, Ridwan now out to a 6.5 second lead. He's effectively putting 3 seconds a lap on everyone. As you see Lashbrook running in 2nd. And then we have Walker in 3rd. Ward in 4th, right behind Walker. I'd certainly say Ward would be looking like taking over that third spot. As we see O'Shea diving into the pits. Possible that he's taken a bit of damage on the chicane. As we'll head back to a little battle pack here at the moment. As we're on lap 4 of 29 in this second race. Ward taking a cheeky little dive there up the inside. Can't quite make it stick. Walker still holds on to third position. And then we have Palmer just lurking in the background. Ward looks to be getting a bit of a run. Yes, he moves down the inside here into the final corner. Doesn't look like he'll quite complete the move, but they'll run side by side down the pit straight. So Walker and Ward fighting it out through turn 1 and on the run into the turn 2, 3, 4 chicane. Walker has the inside advantage. And he'll hold on to that third place. All the while, this just brings Palmer back into the mix. Ward getting a run there into turn 5, gets the job done. So he relatively easy takes over third place. In a place that probably really required a very good run off the exit of 4 to get the job done. Now Walker coming under a lot of pressure here from Palmer. Gets a good run out of that S's. And now on the run down the hill into the hairpin. Palmer looking to make a move. Walker just shuts the door ever so slightly there. He certainly had the room to do it there, as Palmer definitely wasn't far enough down the inside. And things just getting a little bit racy here. You'd say that the tension just starting to pick up a little bit. Certainly where those mistakes can start creeping in as Walker gets a bit of a wide exit there on the final corner. Palmer getting a better exit there, gaining time on him. And now he looks to have a bit of a run down into turn 2. Will he get a move made? He fires down the inside. Gets side by side between the two, but Walker had the advantage in the turn 3. Palmer manages to execute the switchback, but still not far enough alongside to get the advantage. Tries to take another look. Still can't get the job done there. And now this fight is starting to drag Lansdale towards the back of this duo here. Lansdale will certainly be liking the idea of being able to capitalise on the misfortune of these two and maybe jump up in the 4th position if things go wrong. Palmer certainly needs to have a nice clean run here, as he's keeping the pressure on Walker here. So Walker with deep entry, gaining a 10th there on the entry. But Palmer clawing it back in and more with a better exit. And he's certainly got the run this time down the main straight. Palmer looks at the outside of 1, that'll give him the inside for turn 2. Out breaks Walker and he gets the job done. Now he's up in the 4th place. So it probably took a little while longer than he wanted, but Palmer now moving up into 4th. A good move there on Walker. see if we can get a replay. No, we can't. I've left that a bit too late. So we look a little bit further down the order. We've got Harcourt up in 8th place. Certainly a bit further up the order than we saw in that first run just a few moments ago. And you'll certainly be looking to bounce back from those results in race 1 where he finished 13th. Certainly not the start to the season he would have been looking forward to. At the moment he's sitting in 8th place with Calypso just behind him. Looks like he had a bit of a poor run through that chicane. That's opened the door for Calypso to come down the inside. But Harcourt really digging deep there on the exit, taking the wider run through that final corner, but still hanging on to position number 8. Calypso taking advantage of the draft, trying to get the run. Looks to run a bit wide there, just probably giving Harcourt the room that he needs, and probably a bit more to be generous. He's certainly given lots of room to his fellow competitor there. Very respectful racing between the two. Calypso now into 8th place. Great racing there between the two. Plenty of room between each other. Certainly what you like to see between two drivers. Now the focus for Calypso will be to start building that gap. Something made slightly easier by Harcourt, just running a bit wide on the exit of those S's. And also running wide at the hairpin now. Harcourt is going to be coming under pressure here from Campbell. And in the sight you don't often see. You have the likes of Campbell and O'Shea sitting in 10th and 11th for CP Motorsports. It's certainly a rare sight from such a high esteemed team. Looks like Campbell's got the run here down the pit straight. So he'll be the next driver to make his way past Harcourt into 9th place. And you'd imagine that the next target for Campbell will be Calypso in the battle for 8th. As we just see O'Shea appearing in the horizon there, just closing into the back of Harcourt. So Campbell all over the back of Calypso, and then just a little bit further behind we've got Harcourt and O'Shea battling it out for a spot in the top 10. It's certainly hard to know which way to look. Campbell just looked to be a bit more cautious there through the chicane. Didn't want to get caught out in dirty air. Or didn't want to overcommit with Calypso in front. He's going to get a run down onto the pit straight now. I imagine this will be an easy job for him, depending on the defence that Calypso puts up. Calypso though giving plenty of room for Campbell into turn 1. Campbell holding it around the outside. Brilliant move there from Campbell, gets the job done. He's up into 8th, and at the same time O'Shea up into 10th as well. Let's have a quick look there at the replay. Went the opposite way to what his teammate did on Calypso and got the job done into turn 2. So brilliant move there from O'Shea to get up into the top 10. And as we just saw there, we've seen Palmer up into third place. Not sure what's happened. Must have been the chicane claiming another victim. Oh, it's Lashbrook. Lashbrook was into the wall in the chicane. So Lashbrook and Lansdale into the pits. And not a sight you really expect to see is Patasso down in 14th, already a lap down on the front three runners. Certainly not the run that you'd expect from the Mash Spuds Racing team owner. So Rude One now out to a 14-second lead. Comfortably running away with his second race. So Ward and Palmer fighting it out for second and third. Walker sitting in a nice fourth place there for WRT Motorsport. And then we've got Von Duve rounding out the top five. And then it's Campbell and O'Shea up to 6th and 7th. Calypso running in 8th place. Certainly cementing his spot in the top 10 so far. Lansdale down in 9th. Rude One into the pits. He's obviously copped a bit of damage here. Decided it's a wise move was to jump into the pits. So 12 laps in, decided it's time for a fresh set of tyres. So he comes out in third place, just 5 seconds back from Palmer. Of course, Palmer being his teammate in the It's Racing Esports camp. And Red One, of course, coming out just in front of Walker there, so still managing to hold on to third place. So now it's Ward in the lead of this race, as we are now on lap 13 of 29. But Ward has Palmer just 0.8 of a second further back. Palmer will very much be looking to take over the lead here as he closes in the gap through the chicane. Ward looking to run wide there a bit on the exit. That's given Palmer a brilliant run out of onto the main straight. And Palmer closing the gap on the run down through turn 1. Towards turn 2, doesn't look to be close enough to do anything about it. But Ward certainly grabbed a lot of curb there on the exit of, I believe it was turn 4. And that just allows Palmer to close in. Keep that gap extremely close between the two. And Palmer will now be looking for a great run through the S's. And it looks like Palmer slowed himself down enough through the first section to really get a great run down onto the exit of the S's and down the hill, but still not enough to get himself within striking distance of Ward, as they both just have a bit of a break in traction there on the exit of the corner. And they're both up against the wall on the exit of the chicane. Palmer really hoping to get a good run out of this final corner again this time. Ward looked to get a bit of a slightly taily exit. He does have the benefit of the draft from Oldman. So run down the pit straight again towards turn 2. It looks like Oldman just bails out of the way, lets this battle take place. So I think one thing that we'll need to keep an eye on is I believe that Red One will be closing in from behind. You see him slowly approach into view. As Ward and Palmer continue to focus on each other. See there, Red One just 3.4 seconds back from his It's Racing Esports teammate. Walker sitting nicely in 5th place. So the battle still continues between Palmer and Ward. As we're on lap 16 of 29. And Ward is into the wall. And that's proved costly for Palmer as well, who's copped some damage in that. And through all of that, Hamza now sweeps through into 2nd place. Really unfortunate there from Palmer. You'd say he's very much been caught up as a victim. It just wasn't a lot he could do there. Get another onboard view of that one. So yeah, Ward just getting extremely unsettled on the curb there. And that just sends him into the wall. And now it's Palmer that comes out of the pits in front. So brilliant opportunity here for Palmer to really build a gap now that he's in front of Ward. So of all that, of course, Ridwan back into the lead. Palmer jumping into second as a result of the slightly shorter repairs from that incident just before. A bit of a wide exit there, giving Ward a great run down the straight. Looks like Palmer's just composed himself there a little bit. Managed to build that buffer up. But the gap does continue to ebb and flow between the two drivers. Palmer certainly looking stronger through those S's. He's even gaining time when following Ward, even though he had the dirty air. Ward just seems to close up through that hairpin. And then gains a little bit more through the chicane. I think that might be a consequence of Palmer just taking a little less risk. As Palmer there just gets a much better exit. As we see Ridwan obviously making another pit stop there. And he comes out on track just in front of Palmer. So still manages to hold on to the lead with 11 laps to go in race number 2. Shea now diving in the pits, looks like he's taken damage, assuming that would be from an incident at the chicane, like the majority of other competitors here tonight. Fortunately, Campbell still holding on to a 6th place result. That'll still be crucial points for CP Motorsports early on in the team standings. Certainly 2 cars in the top 8 is nothing to look down on. Definitely have to give a bit of a shout out here to Walker. He has been doing a great job so far. Sitting in 4th place in the WRT Motorsport entry. Of course, the WRT Motorsports team coming up with some really striking liveries for this season. Of course, Walker campaigning the pink Nissan GTR we see on screen, and then Oldman, a yellow example as well, very much in the same base design, but of course with the different colours. So it's just about to cross in. I think it's 9 laps to go now. So Red One, 1.2 second lead over Palmer. And then Ward sitting in third place. I think Palmer just might have lost a few tenths there to Hamza as he just negotiated that lap car of Calypso. And that sort of brought Ward back into the conversation here for second place. Certainly Hamza would very much be welcoming that little extra gap there. I sort of get the feeling that maybe Red One will be looking to just bring it home safely. Whereas Palmer seems to have a bit more of a fight on his hands for second place. So these two cars in second and third fight it out for the minor placings on the podium. Just a slightly wider run through to S's there. That's probably compromised Palmer a little bit, as we know that Ward is much quicker through that hairpin and through the S's. Although that being said, Palmer did get a better exit there. So it's almost like the roles have been reversed here. And now Palmer just finally getting himself a bit more settled. Getting that margin out to 9/10 of a second. And as I say that, it drops underneath 9/10. Well, it's certainly one of the closer battles on track at the moment. Palmer just ran wide there into that top hairpin, and that's really allowed Ward to close in. So there's no room for relaxation between these two in the closing stages of race 2. As it now drops to just under half a second, O'Shea in the pits. More damage again for the CP Motorsports car. As we see Harcourt round the final corner now, he'll jump up into the top 8th position. As we see Calypso as well is up to 10th place. We've got Lashbrook, Pitasso, Scott and then Oldman rounding out the field. Palmer's still managing to fend off the onslaught from Ward at this stage. Let's see what some battles are doing a bit further back. Fonduve seems to be providing some separation between the two teammates from ISA Esports of Calypso and Lashbrook. Campbell a bit out on his own. Same with Lansdale. Harcourt 1.8 back from O'Shea. Lashbrook now just making a move there on Calypso. Let's get a replay of that one. So it looks like Calypso just doing the courteous thing and letting Von Duve through under blue flags. And then his teammates taking full advantage of it with a cheeky move. Jump inside the top 10. Definitely head back to this battle for second place between Palmer and Ward. Certainly seems to be where the action is on track. I think we'll jump on board for about a lap or so with Ward. Ward's gone into the wall there, riding on board with him. He's just ran a bit too wide through the chicane and into the wall he's gone. Yeah, he just didn't get that position right for the initial turn in for the third part. He just carried it a bit too wide, and from there he's just a bit of a passenger as he struggled to recover things. So now Ward, who was running comfortably in P3, challenging for second place. Drops down the order just slightly. Comes out in fourth place. And that promotes Walker into the podium spot. With 4 laps to go in a 7-second margin. Can the WRT Motorsport driver hold on for what would be a well-deserved and popular podium finish? So we've got 3 laps to go here. Hamza out to a 5-second lead. And then it's Palmer sitting in second place. 14 seconds back to Walker in third. Ward, funnily enough, coming under a bit of pressure here from a car that is a lap down on him. There's Lashbrook just shadowing him a fair bit there. So Von Duve about 4.5 seconds back in 5th. Has got Campbell closing up behind him by the looks of things. Don't know if there's going to be enough time for that position to change between the two though. have Lansdale sitting in 7th. Harcourt in 8th. And it's O'Shea 9th. Lashbrook sitting in 10th. As he gets all out of shape on the exit of the chicane. Certainly a heart-in-mouth moment there. Was there a car that had a yellow flag there? Very much struggling to work out which one that is. I imagine it would have been Ando. I think I've been too late for that replay. Yeah, he's in the pits now. I think I'll just give up on the replays for the moment. Unless I know for sure who was involved in them. Red one, lap 28 of 29. 5.7 second lead here. Just in front, O'Shea and Harcourt fighting it out for position 8 and 9. But of course, just behind these two, it is Hamza starting his final lap. .300 kilometres of racing tonight. And one driver has certainly stood above them all so far. Across both races, he's had the pace, he's had pole position. He overcome a couple of setbacks in race 1. Having to pit an extra time to repair damage, but still enough pace to overcome that little setback. He's managed to crack that 1 minute 25. The carrot that he had dangling in front of him earlier in race 1. He's certainly managed to snatch that in race number 2. As he puts Harcourt a lap down now, coming through the final corner. You head to the exit of the final corner and on the run down to the main straight, and it's Ridwan Hamza who takes a clean sweep of races here tonight at Dragon Trail Seaside. And it'll be a 1-2 for It's Racing Esports as Palmer comes across the line in 2nd place. And then what will be a very popular result here for the WRT Motorsport team. It's Walker. He'll come across the line to pick up a podium position in 3rd place. An excellent result for him and the team. Ward just missing out on a podium result after that crash late on in the race. He'll be disappointed that he didn't pick up another podium, but certainly glad that he got 3rd. And a run to the line, and Campbell just getting across the line ahead of Von Duve. We certainly missed that battle between the two. Lansdale coming across the line in 7th. O'Shea in 8th. That'll be his spot cemented as Harcourt has crossed the line in 9th. Lashbrook in 10th. Calypso in 11th. And we'll watch O'Shea come across the line to take 8th place. So O'Shea 8th place in the 2nd race here at the Dragon Trail 300. Be Patasso in 12th. Oldman in 13th, and then Scott in 14th. Definitely not the results that I would have expected from Scott. I would have expected to see him much further up the order in this one. He certainly had a night that he would rather forget. So big congratulations to Ridwan. 2 races, 2 victories, a pole position to go with it. And then of course our other place getters in the second race. Palmer running in second. And then Walker in third for the WIT Motorsport Nissan. So 300 kilometres in the books for round 1 of the Trackstars Touring Car Series. A very eventful affair, as we usually come to expect here at the Dragon Trail Seaside circuit. A very fast-paced street circuit that seems to claim a lot of victims throughout the races. From 2021 onwards, we have especially seen that be the case. And tonight was certainly no different. So just a quick recap of the results there. It's Racing Esports 1-2 with Hamza and Palmer first and second. Walker sitting in third place. Ward for RoboSport Racing, a 4th place finish. Then it's Campbell in 5th for CP Motorsports. Von Duve just missing out on a top 5 finish at the line for WTC Racing. And then it's Lansdell in 7th. O'Shea in 8th. Finishing off our first page of results here. And then it's Hardcourt in 9th. Lashbrook, and top 10 result there for ISA Esports. Calypso just outside the top 10 in 11th. Patasso, probably not the race he would have liked there, in 12th place. And then we have Oldman and Scott rounding out the field. So big thanks to everyone tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed the coverage of the racing, as it was definitely a much longer night than you're probably accustomed to. 300 kilometres of racing, 250 kilometre races, nearly an hour and a half of racing overall from the Trackstars Touring Car Series. From here, we'll be heading across to Belgium next week. A single 250 kilometre race at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Certainly a favourite amongst a number of the drivers. So until next week, where I will see you again, we look forward to seeing your company next week for round 2 of the